Hello everyone and welcome to the second Stepbot Sceneries live stream about the Scenery Animation Manager. Um, Today we will show you how to integrate SAM into your custom scenery, either if you're a simple scenery developer using the standard world editor with its libraries, or if you're an advanced developer and want to integrate your own custom objects. It will take some time today because we will go into the details. However, we will. I will try to answer any questions during our call, and if you have one, just type them in, and I will get back to it. So the first thing we will do is using the library objects. So Sam has an own library, which is free, of course, and it contains different objects. Most of the important ones are the jetways, but there are also other like hangars and wind turbines and yeah, a little bit more maybe. It's not the library which will be used in every scenery, as it's more a demonstration library. So it's nothing like the Mr. X library, which is awesome, by the way. But our library only contains the pre-animated objects for the SAM usage. Okay, I will use a test scenery first. This is Lübeck in Germany, Echo Delta Hotel Lima, the airport where I learned to fly. And I already placed some objects here. You will find the library in the library section in the SAM library. And then you get different parts, for example, hangars. You got the jetways, of course, a lot of different types. You got some wind turbines and the so-called dockings, which are the visual docking guidance systems, or the Marshaller, for example. I already placed them, so let's see what we got. We got two different jetways standing here. We got a Marshaller standing here. We got the visual docking guidance system over here. We got two hangars, and they are the same, exactly the same object, and we got two wind turbines over here. And the first thing we will do is we will have a look at the animations itself. So with SAM you can create custom animations, but you can also use those objects, and I already loaded up the scenery. And you can see here that the wind turbines are already rotating. No, it won't be available today, but hopefully in the next week. We got some items left, but they will be fixed soon, so stay tuned for that. Okay, so these wind turbines are the one from the library, and as you can see, they are already turning. They are also reacting to the wind speed and the wind direction. Now I have to disable the real weather, which is provided. Where is it? Inside here, I guess. Let's see if we change the weather, or at least the wind direction, like this. It will change as well. So also the speed and as well the direction of the turbines are automatically adapting to the weather. So this is easy. I mean, this is just placing the object. Now another thing is when you use other animations, for example, in the hangars. So we get the same hangars inside here. It's exactly the same object, just placed twice. And you can go to SAM authoring tool. This is the tool you will work with. It's split up into different parts. And the first thing, if you want to animate a scenery, is you have to add the scenery to SAM, or you have to enable it. So you click on sceneries, you click add SAM to scenery, and then you will get a drop down of all the sceneries which are currently loaded or which are available. So my one is Oh, I guess it's already registered, so you can check that by um, edit, edit SAM scenery. Yeah, and you see it's the EDHL test scenery, which is already loaded up. If you want to add, just select the scenery, use a description which is easy, so not this cryptic description like this, for example, not Aerosoft Aspen Mesh A, just call it um, KASE Airport, um, Aspen Airport, for example. Because this is the name which will appear in the user interface. So this is the EDHL test is the real name. And I would propose you to use at least the ICAO code so that the user can identify the sceneries once they have different here in the list. And yeah, that's it. So we already did that. Now let's animate those hangers. We have to go to the data refs. And the first thing is you have to assign the object, okay? Because the animation itself is already included in the object. You don't have to do anything with that, but you have to assign the object. There's also some help text here. I will skip that. But now you can select the animation you want to have for this object. Now, every object in the library has a predefined animation, and once the plugin is released, you will find all informations in the Threshold forum in a special club, as I already mentioned in the video before. And there is a list of all included objects and the animation which is included in the object. And I'm not 100% sure which animation is included in here. I guess the SAM library hanger door 20-second. Yes. So you select it, and now you see the different objects here in the list. So these are the coordinates, and you can now open it and simply toggle the animation. And now you see, okay, this one is working, and this is the right hanger, okay? So the first thing is we create a checkbox. This is the ID. This is only an internal ID, just for your own structure within the plugin. The user won't see it, so we call it simply hanger04 right. And then you will create the checkbox label for the user. So this is the button which will appear. So we call it hanger hanger right, maybe. Okay. Now you choose the scenery where you want to save it, and you obviously have to save it into the current one, and click create checkbox. And voila, you see hanger right exists, and you, as a user, you can toggle the animation now. Okay. You already see the ID is given here, so you see this object is already animated. Now we have the second one, and it's obviously the left one, perfect. And again, it's exactly the same object, but now we will change the ID to the left, hanger04 left, and we will change the name, the label name to hanger left. The scenery is still our correct one, create checkbox. And here you got the second checkbox, and now both objects are animated and can be triggered on their own. Okay. Yeah, that's it for those hangers. Not that difficult, isn't it? Okay. Next objects are the visual docking guidance system over here, as well as the marshaller, which is not visible at the moment. As you may have seen in the video before, those jetways actually don't need a specific position to be connected to the aircraft. So as long as your aircraft is in the limits of the jetway, they will connect. However, those docking systems obviously need a special position, which is the optimum position, so they can show when you should stop. And we have to the only thing we have to do is to define this position, okay? Which is now the visual docking guidance section, and you click add docking guidance. And now you see different objects. Looks like there's another marshallah standing over here, maybe. That's why it's displayed. And now you get the problem. Okay, which object is where? Because you don't see any name, you only see the coordinates. Of course, you could check the coordinates in the world editor, but that's annoying. So you can use the display range slider, and it will reduce the distance of the visible objects inside here. Okay, so now you can see only two objects left and probably only one object. Yeah, they are standing very close to each other, although you can't see the mashallah. So there, we have to try it out. Okay. I will hide the help text for now. It's easier. Okay, so here you see the position, which will be defined for the docking to be the best, an ID, which has to be set, just an internal one again, and the scenery. So it's the same system like for the data refs. But there's another part, the test animations. And here you can check which object is which one. And you can override the status, you can change the status. And here you can already see, okay, this object is the marshallah. Okay, and as we want to use, let's stop this override action. And as we want to set up the docking guidance first, it's probably this one. So the only thing you do, assuming that this position where the aircraft is standing is the perfect one, it's the correct one, simply copy current position. You already see the jetway, the docking guidance is reacting. And now the values are entered. Give it a name like only an internal one, stand 01, for example, and click on save. That's it. Ready. Nothing more to do. Okay. You can check if you like if the animation is working, as you can see when we move around. Okay. Good. The marshallah as well. So the usual procedure is you select the parking position, assuming that you have a parking position set. I got one SEM test marshallah up here. I load up the flight over there. And I would propose you to keep the engines running. I forgot that now, but if the engines are running, the marshallah would be visible. But as now, as you're in a parking mode where the engine is off and the beacon is off, the marshallah won't be visible. So it's maybe a bit harder to get the correct object. Come on. But we already know we can test it again. Yes, it is the marshallah. And by the way, did you notice the added one is now hidden from this list? So it's only the available objects displayed anymore. Yeah, copy current position and say stand 01 alpha maybe. Click save, and that's it. If you want to add it, then giving a new position, for example, you can select add a docking guidance, and here you see all docking guidances. Keep in mind, here you can see, if you turn up the slider, you will see all the parking objects available and configured here. Reduce it if you only want to see the current one you're standing in. And you could update or obviously delete it. You can also delete it, and if you delete it, it will appear. You can test that. Delete, really? Are you sure? Yes, delete it. And now if you go to add docking, it's available again in here. Okay? Perfect. That's not that difficult as well. Probably the most difficult part, if you call it difficult, is the Jetway configuration. That will take around 30 to 60 seconds usually per Jetway. That's my experience. Maybe a bit faster if you preset everything correctly. Ooh, okay. Flight sim crashed. Don't know why. We'll check that, why it's crashed. That's the thing when you always play around with so many sceneries and stuff. Ground traffic, oh come on. Yeah, the ground traffic plugin is quite unstable, especially when you have a lot of sceneries loaded up. That's not, yeah. However, it's a good plugin though. Yeah, you see we have different jetways placed in here. It's type 1 solid 3.5 meter and it's type 1 glass 5.0 meter. This is important pretty soon. So keep those descriptions in mind. Come on. You don't need the log file anymore. By the way, you can place the jetway in any direction, doesn't matter. Okay, so just adapt it to the to your scenery or to your terminal, which is standing over here maybe, or wherever, doesn't matter. The center point of the object is always the initial rotation point here. Okay, yeah. There we are back. Sorry for that, guys. You already see the docking is now showing the correct values. And let's enable the jetways. So let's go to jetways and again add a jetway. Now to identify which one is which, you can open one and click and hold to identify. And now you see a little bit of movement. So this is the outer one, this is the first one. Yeah, okay, perfect. There are always three parts. The first is description, arrangement, and installation. And description is the area where you describe the object basically, which means you will have to set up the measurements of the jetway to the plugin so that the plugin knows the values of this object and can animate it correctly to the given dimensions. And you don't have to enter them manually. You can simply click Load Template and select the template of the object. So we set type 1 solid 3.5, I guess. Let's double check. Type solid 1 solid 3.5, yeah. And click on Load Template. And what you see is it's already importing the correct values. You can override them, but no need to. But you can also change the sound, for example, if you like. And that's it. Okay. And second one is the arrangement. So the arrangement, here you can test all values in game. Okay. You can see the movement of the jetway, and those are the maximum rotations or animations in general, which are in the range of the or which should be in the range of the door. Okay, you can see it's going up to minus 88% up to 88. And you have rotate 2, which is the door in front, can only be turned 88 degrees to the left. Then you have rotate 3, the vertical stuff, and you have to set wheels animations to automatically, then the wheels will automatically follow. You don't have to set that up manually, actually. It will be animated correctly when you've set it up. It's just for test purposes. You can extend it here, and yeah, you don't need to change the wheel numbers because, as you can see, they are moving correctly already. So you don't really have to do something here, but you can set an initial position. So move the jetway to wherever you like this, maybe, like this, and not that much extended, like this. And you can set current arrangement as initial arrangement, which means this is the initial position of the jetway. Okay, we can do that here. And if you, for example, if you have some objects standing around here, or you want to limit those values here, because, for example, here the jetway shouldn't move further like this, because then it will hit the other jetway. So you can see the number 9.739 on rotate 1. And now you can go to installation, and in the installation tab, you have those values set to the where you can set those values. So the maximum rotation on rotate 1 is 9.739. So we can set it. Let's set it to 9, and you can see that the slider will be adapted to the value which is written down below. So now this is the maximum angle the Jetway can go. And if you park without of this range, the Jetway won't connect. Okay, so you can define the range for everything. Like, yeah, okay, rotate is already preset in the template. Rotate 3 is already preset as well. So basically it's only rotate 1 which can be set. But you can say, okay, I only want to have it like this and say it, okay, it's minus, let's say minus 72. So now this is the range where the Jetway can go. Okay. Then, furthermore, you can set the door. It's usually on left forward 1 by default, so it will connect to the first door of the aircraft. You can set it to left forward 2 for the second one, we'll see soon. And yeah, that's basically it. You don't have to do anything more, but obviously selecting the scenery and give the Jetway a label name. We'll call it Jetway, no, we call it stand 01. Okay, click on save. Now it's hidden. Let's see the interface. It's not visible yet, but if you click automatically connect jetways, you will have connect stand 1. If you click that, nothing happens. Why does nothing happen? Because we use the test sliders to move the object around, which automatically disables the automatic connection or stops the animation in total. So if you would restart the simulator now or reload the scenery or whatever, it would work correctly. Okay, but as we are a developer and work in progress here, we can go to Edit Jetway instance, and now you see it here, stand 01. And if you go to arrangement, you see this temporarily disabled automatic movement is still enabled because we've played around with those values. But if we disable it, now the Jetway will move as long as we click here. Now you see those values are already working. It's turning the wheel now, and here we go. What you can also do is you can click Force Connect to Aircraft for testing. Disable the animation first. Click Force Connect, and now the Jetway will be connected to the aircraft just for testing purposes. If you want to check if your Jetway is in range, yeah, your aircraft is in range. If it's not in range, you will notice that we can do that by simply move the aircraft away. Yeah, like this. You will see the extent is right at 16 meters. Okay, but if you move the slider, the maximum value is 10. Okay, so you're not in the limit. So what you could do is you can increase the extent value to like 60 meters. However, this object is only available for 10 meters. Okay, it's already pre-animated. So in the template, it's limited to 10. So just leave it like this, and yeah, can't reach the aircraft basically. Okay. Same about the Jetway number 2. You don't have to be at the Jetway with your aircraft. Okay, you can simply add it like now, although we're not in range. Yes, it's this one. Description, load from template, and now it's type 1 glass 5 meters. So type 1 glass 5, load the template, and set up the initial position. Let's say this one, maybe rotate a bit, maybe a bit down like this. Set current arrangement as initial arrangement. You can already, yeah, disable this maybe. And that's it. As long as you don't want to change those values, those rotate values, let's say you want to prevent the Jetway from moving over there. Well, this is the maximum rotation, let's say to 30. No, minus 30, sorry. Minus 30. Oops, rotate like this. Okay, so those are the maximum values, fine. Give it a name, like stand 0, 1, and I call it 2 because it's the second one. Now we have to change it from left forward 1 to left forward 2 because it's the second one, and click on save. You're done. Obviously the Jetway won't connect because this aircraft only has one door, but if you have a bigger one with the 2-door configuration, then it would connect as long as you're in range. Okay, so that's it, nothing more, easy. As I said, it usually takes like 30 seconds per Jetway, depending on how much you change those arrangement values. The good thing is you can, for each Jetway, you can define an initial position, which gives you a variety of appearance in the Jetways when you simply randomly change those values a bit. So not every door would look at the same direction or would be headed in the same direction, but you have a bit more variety, which is more realistic, obviously. Okay, that's it basically for the library object. So every developer who wants to enhance its scenery by those library jetways like this, like them here, that's it. You don't need to do anything more. No animation. You don't need a 3D editor or whatever. It's just this tool. Okay. As I said, there's the help menu. We have a tutorial and a written tutorial in the Threshold Club as well, but here the included help text is pretty good, so that shouldn't be any problem. Perfect. Now we will do a bit more advanced stuff, which is creating custom, 100% custom animations. Okay, because this the part until now was predefined. Everything is predefined. Now we will do exactly the same thing with the hangers and all that stuff, but with completely custom objects. Okay. So we first started with assigning an object, which was the hanger. Okay. What we do now is we create a data ref. We won't go into 3D editor creating an object now, because I expect you to know how to do that, or there are a lot of tutorials, but it's not the thing we are talking about now. So let's say you have a hanger and you want to animate its door. What you could do is you could simply use an included data ref for the animation. So as you have seen, when we assign an object, there are already included animations in the library. So you could use, for example, the same like in the included hanger object, the door 20 seconds. Here you see the technical name for the data ref. So it's sam/library/hanger/door 20 seconds, 20s. In the club, there is a list of all included data refs with their values. But basically, it's the hanger doors work like this. You have the value 0 up to the value 20 in 20 seconds. That's the animation for this. If you have like the 41, then it's the value 0 to 40 in 40 seconds. So you could simply animate your object, including this data ref, like the 40 seconds data ref, and if you include it in your scenery and load up the scenery in the simulator, the object would appear here, like the library hangers we used before. Okay, so simply put your animation values to the values which are proposed in the included data refs. If those data refs are not sufficient for you, if they are not 100% good, then you can obviously create your own one, which is data ref, and now you have two different types: a toggle data ref and an animated data ref. Toggle data ref means on and off. So help us dissect. Okay. So again, select the scenery. Enter the global unique name for the data ref. This is the technical one. So simply enter sam/. This is mandatory. And now it's up to you, whatever you enter. I propose to use the ICAO code because it might happen that another user, another developer uses the same data ref, and then everything will get screwed up. So use SAM, use maybe IK, for example, Echo Delta Hotel Lima of the scenery where we are, slash, and give it a name, whatever. We want to animate hangars, so let's give it a hangar name, hangar slash, whatever, your custom Jetway. Not Jetway, your custom hangar. Come on. Okay, so you can basically, if you've entered SAM slash, you can enter anything with spaces, separate structure in here. Doesn't matter. Okay, just use whatever you like. Then enter an initial, internal label for this data ref. This is the short one in the selection list. So for example, you can say it is EDHL hangar door, maybe. And then enter the checkbox label shown for the user. Okay, I forgot something. We are in a toggle data ref, so it doesn't make sense to have a 0 and 1 on and off value in a hangar. So let's say it's not a hangar, it's your custom interior. Maybe you've modeled an interior like chair or picture on the wall, and the user should be able to enable or disable it. So we could call it EHL hangar interior. And then enter the checkbox label shown to the user. This is the menu button in here. So enter hangar interior, maybe, yeah, that's it. And enter the value for the data ref when the checkbox is unchecked, so the off value is 0, and by default it's 1. And if we click on save, you can see the hangar interior button is available. Well, obviously nothing is happening because we don't have an object with this data ref, but here in the list, you now see EDHL hangar interior available. You cannot change the values anymore. You would have to delete the data ref and create it again if you want to change like the 0 and 1 value. There's another special thing and a very important thing. If you create a data ref which has not been known to the simulator yet, so if it's a completely new one, then you have to reload the scenery first before the animation works. The reason is that when a scenery gets loaded, the plugin and the simulator registers all the data refs. And as we are already loaded the sceneries, and now adding a new data ref, the system doesn't know it. So you first have to register it by reloading the scenery. You can either do it in the developer reload, scenery reload, or you can go to the utility and click reload scenery. So you won't see the animation before, okay? I won't do it now, but that's a very important thing. So if you create a custom data ref and you say it's not working, although I used exactly the correct data ref description in the object and it's not visible, the object is visible, but the animation is not visible, then it's because of you haven't reloaded it. Okay. So this is pretty easy for the toggle data ref. The animated data ref works similar. You have again the description SAM EDHL hangar door maybe, and enter an internal name. You don't have to do it, but I would propose you to do that. So let's say EDHL hangar door, and now let's make it a bit bigger. Now you have to draw the animation basically. So we have a time number and the value number. And the first thing is always 0 and 0. So click add point. Nothing happened so far because it was the first point. Now let's assume that we want to have a value in the next value in after 10 seconds. It's a second. It's in seconds here. 10 seconds, and in 10 seconds we want to have the value 5. Click add. And now you see the animation basically. and you can see those different values in between here. I guess from 0 to 5 in 10 seconds. Yeah. Next thing is from we might add another point. Let's say we want on after 15 seconds we want to be on value 2 maybe, and on 20 seconds we want to be on value 5 again, like this. Okay. If you're not happy with it, simply clear the animation like this. Keep in mind you have to use the point, or you should use the 0.00 at first. So click it again, add, although nothing happens, enter new values, and you're good to go. Like this. Okay? 25, let's say 10. Okay. Some other options, randomize phase for instances, means that the animation will start on a randomized point on this graph. Okay? You can see the output on those wind turbines. They are not starting exactly at the same rotation point, but they are randomized. So if you want to have a randomized start, then use this checkbox. Autoplay means it will automatically be activated, so no user interaction. It will run through this data ref, and once it has reached the last value, it will start again automatically from the beginning. So it's like a loop data ref. Okay, so if you have a radar, for example, or a rabbit approach light or whatever. Okay, no user interaction. There's no the user cannot control this animation. It won't be visible in the user menu, obviously. And the last one is augmented wind speed, which means the time or the speed of the data ref. So the time it takes from the first value to the last value depends on the wind speed. If you have those wind turbines, for example, you need that. Or if you animate, let's say, a sailboat, for example, driving around, and you want to have the speed of the boat depending on the wind, as it's a sailboat, you can check augmented wind speed, for example. Yeah, click on save, and remember to reload the scenery, as we have created a completely new data ref, which has not been there before. And if we've and put in the data ref into the object, we can again click on assign object, go to your EDHL hangar door, and it would appear here, and simply click add, select a name for the button, and you're good to go. So you can basically create any data ref to your liking, doesn't matter. Okay, good. Now the most advanced part is the Jetway, the custom Jetway animation. And for this part, we will switch to a scenery where I have to do that actually, which is Zurich. I already previewed Zurich in the first video. And what we have to do is we have to add several more jetways to the scenery. And it's the Aerosoft version 2 scenery of Zurich, and it obviously features custom jetway objects. So what we had to do is we had to manually change the object to fit with SAM. There are also predefined data refs for that, obviously. So in the club, you will see a list of all Jetway data refs, which have to be used for the Jetway. And the most important thing for you now to know is you have to animate the values exactly as they are shown in the description in the club. Okay. Exactly means, for example, there's the extent data ref, and it has a value of 0 up to 10 meters. And you have to animate your object from 0 meters to 10 meters extension. It doesn't matter if your jetway can go to 10 meters or even more, maybe like 20 meters. You have to animate it to 10, okay? You can later extend the animation in the plugin, but it has to be animated to the values which are given in the description, okay? You can use the library Jetway as a reference. For example, if you have like AC3D, which can import explain objects, then you can see how the animation has been done. Okay. Ooh. In our case, I will take the. Let's take the A390 maybe. I wonder why the aircraft is standing that much in the terminal. We'll see. And I already created those jetways. Okay, so I animated them, but in the 3D editor, but they're not assigned in the sim yet. So that's what we're going to do now. Okay, looks like the parking position is set incorrectly here in the scenery. It's work in progress scenery, so it doesn't matter. For the jetway, it doesn't matter. Okay. I want to check if this jetway already exists. Alpha 45, Alpha 47. Okay, perfect. So we'll go to add jetway, and the jetway objects will appear in this list as long as they have the values, the data refs with the correct values included. And now you see already the problem. You have a lot of jetways. You don't know which one is this one. So reduce the visibility. And now I know, okay, this is probably this one as it's closest. And yes, it is. Now, unfortunately, there's no template as it's a custom object. So what we have to do is we have to set up those values manually, okay? In the utility part, there is a draw helper line button. Now strange things happen. You don't have to bother with them, except those visible lines here. It's just a reference, okay? It's not perfect. So what we have to do is now we have to set up the dimensions of the jetway. The first one is height of the bottom jetway edge above ground. Okay, I'm not sure how what's the height. We'll skip that first. Distance from rotunda pivot to the wheel attach point. So this is the distance from here, from the center point, from the 0, 0, 0 point to the center point of the wheels. And this is the first red line. Okay, so it's maybe 12. No, it's 11. Oh, 11, no, it's 10. Oh. Yeah, sometimes it's not really visible. It's inside the OpenGL. It's not that perfect. As I said, it's only a reference, but let's give it like 10.5, 10.3. Yeah, maybe like this, 10.3. Okay. Next is distance from the rotunda pivot to the cabin pivot. So the entire part from here to here, okay, which is now set to 15.9. Let's, yeah, well, increase it maybe to 17. That's a bit too much. 16.9. Oh no, it wasn't too much. Maybe 17. Because here is the center point. You can see it's kind of hard to tell. You can also get those dimensions in the 3D editor, so by simply measuring this distance in the 3D editor, which would be easier, obviously. The next one is distance from cabin pivot to the end of cabin. This is the green part here. Say 2 meters. That was Ah, yeah, that's sometimes a bit fiddling when you change the view and want to enter a value, then you have to first click inside the window again. Explain stuff. Okay, 5 maybe. Roughly. Okay, now you can see the height is not correct, so we can move it up maybe 3, 5, like this, maybe. Last two are the wheel diameter, which is yeah, which has to be read out in the 3D editor. I don't know it for this one, but you needed to have a correct wheel animation, and the wheel distance, which is the distance from the two wheel center points, so from here to here. Okay, it's required for the turn of the wheel. And the last thing is the sound. Select the sound if you like. Okay. Good. So now we have to test if we can hide those helper lines. Now let's see if that worked. So arrangement, disable automatic, and let's say force connect to aircraft for testing. That looks pretty good actually. Not that bad. Well, I'm impressed by myself. um, if it's not perfect, yeah, you see the door, the aircraft door is inside the jetway. So the jetway should connect a bit further to the front. So what we can do is we can change those values now. There are only two values which should be changed. The first one is the distance from cabin pivot to the end of cabin. Okay. And the second one is the distance from rotunda pivot to cabin pivot, so the entire time, the entire distance of the jetway. And let's try to move it a bit further forward by changing those values. Oh, actually, 2 is not that bad. Like this. Now you see the door is pretty fine inside the jetway. Okay, all aircrafts which are supported have the location at the same point, so exactly in the middle of the door. Okay, so when you added this jetway to this aircraft, then it will work with all the other supported ones. However, I would propose you to use the default 737, not like I do with the toolless A319, but use the default 737. This one is yeah, the best because everyone has it there, and it's the default aircraft. Okay. So, oh come on, this is it for this one. Now, as we've found the correct values, and we have to set up this jetway a lot of times here, we don't have to enter those values all the time. You can store it as a template. So click on Store as Template, select the scenery, and select the template ID, so a name, like test template, so, and click Store Template. So what this does is it saves those values, and it also saves those values, so the installation values. So make sure that you may set them up correctly as well. So you would go to the initial position, or you would select an initial position if you like, another one, and you would limit it to the values of your object. Maybe, for example, this in here for this parking position, or no, not for this parking position, but for this jetway in general, we could say that a rotation, no, rotation 2 has the maximum value of maybe 26 or 25 like this. This would be the maximum, otherwise it would hit this fence over here, this rail, and so we can set it to No, let's rotate to 26, like this. Okay, and this is then the preset for all, or for all jetways if they use the template. You can override them for sure, but this is now these are the template values now. So click on Store Template, and you're done. We can now change those values. And if you now go to Load Template, you see your test template. And if you click on Load, you will see the values will load up just as you would include the library Jetway. Okay. I will delete this template. I already created a template, Jetway Alpha. So those are actually the 100% correct values for this Jetway. Now you could go ahead and simply set up this parking position like here. Initial, let's say initial position is maybe this. Perfect. And you say the installation. You can see here the maximum values for me for this one are those. However, I can check this specific parking position. As you can see, there is a red marking on the ground, and you will probably want to be within this marking. So this minus 72 would be maybe the maximum, so minus 72. And this would be the maximum on the other side. So let's say 7.5. The extension is 12 meters. And here you see, although I animated the object to 10 meters, you can override it here to 12. Okay, that's fine. But for the calculation of the animation, it has to be exactly with the values which are given. Okay. Yeah, so that's fine. Left forward one door is correct. That would be stored in the template as well. Now we are on another scenery. So here you go. Jetway label is alpha 47. It's only this one Jetway. And click on save. And that's it. Okay. I wonder why. Okay, that's sometimes I wonder why only one Jetway is visible here. Yes, because I reduced the visibility here. So now let's see why the Jetway is not connecting. Let's set force. They are all in the limits. Okay. They are on 10 meters. Okay, temporarily disable. Maybe no, the aircraft is shut down actually. Yeah, that's sometimes the problem when using third-party aircraft. So let's get the 738. Let's try this. To verify if all animations were correctly, you should actually restart the simulator. Yeah, but that's basically it about including jetways. So this is way out of the limits for sure. That would be enough. Yeah, so this is within the limits. Still wonder why it's not connecting. There's no jetway, no unconfigured jetways in range. Okay. Added jetway. Okay, that's a good demonstration purpose. Let me think. Left forward one. Okay, I remember why. Okay. The problem is currently I'm using 11.26, and although the plugin works, as you can see, the aircraft configurations are configured to the aircrafts in 11.30. They are slightly different. and therefore the correct door position is not set up in here, probably not set up. So that's why it's not really connecting, only when forcing the aircraft to do so. But as you have seen in our test scenery, it worked pretty well. So yeah, that's basically it. So you could now go ahead and add another jetway, like let's say this one, Alpha 49. Let's reduce it a bit. Maybe the second one, yeah. And now you would go ahead again and click load template, select the template of your custom jetway, click on load. There's the jetway, set the arrangement. -40 is the maximum value. -40. And okay, that's fine. Set the initial position like this, maybe rotate down a bit, maybe extend it a bit. Set current arrangement to initial. Left forward 1 is correct. Zurich is correct. Let's give it a name, Alpha 49. Save, and you're done. Which one is this? Oh, okay. Alpha 07. Good. Great. You can add this as well. Load template. Set the arrangement. It's a pretty small area around here. I would assume like this value -20 maybe. Go to installation, set the value -20. That's fine. Set the initial position so that the aircraft can get into this position a bit better. We will move it over to this part. Oops. Yeah. Don't click that. Set as initial arrangement. Left forward 1 is correct. Zurich is correct. This is Alpha 07. Click on save, and you're done. And now you would do that with every jetway in the scenery. As you've seen, it's pretty fast as long as you've loaded up your template. Okay, so this is the only thing you have to do, really have to do once. You have to find the measures, the correct values for your jetway, and then save them as a template. You can see here that those visual docking guidance systems are indicating all the same thing. They are not. This is a bug in our current version. We are about to fix that this weekend. And then you will be able to have two. Where is that situation? Here, for example, you will be able to have two docking guidance systems right next to each other, serving the same parking position, like here, and only one of them will be activated. It's always the one with the lowest lateral distance to your aircraft. Okay, so if you're taxiing on this line, only the one here, which is hidden at the moment, would be visible. And if you're taxiing on this line, only this one will be visible. The Jetway don't care, but for the docking, it's very important. Okay, so you can set up definitely every parking position with all jetways, like here with 2 jetways, or even with 3 or 4, whatever you like. Just don't forget to change the door assignment for the second and third jetway, and you can have all the docking guidance included in your scenery. Yeah. Okay. Yeah, that was pretty quick actually. I thought it would take more time, but actually it's very good because it shows that the plugin is not that difficult. Okay, sure, we haven't modeled any custom object now, but that's not the thing with SAM. SAM is only the base, the animation base, which will put your animated object or the animation of the object into the sim easily. Yeah. But yeah, as you can see, it's quite easy to import either the library objects or create your own custom animations for the jetways or hangars or whatever. And if you have any idea what could be implemented as well, feel free to contact us. If you have any questions, sure, the club will be available. Yeah, but it should be all self-explanatory. with the help in the SAM plugin itself and in the forum. We will release or we hope to release the plugin within the next week. Okay, there are still a few items left. Some artwork has to be done, and we hope to have the plugin online latest by the end of the week. But as you know, we are still work in progress, so nobody knows. Again, on the license, I already said that in the previous video. The license is freeware for all freeware sceneries and for the users, of course. So you can download the plugin for free. You as a developer, as long as you're creating a freeware scenery, you can use the plugin for free. If you're a payware developer who wants to use the same plugin in the payware scenery, um, you have to purchase a license. We will have a web shop online soon where you can buy the license. You can also buy like 3 airports or 5 airports. It's a bit cheaper then. The price is not determined yet, so stay tuned on that. However, there's no difference. The plugin is the same. So you would download the freeware plugin, create your configuration like I did now with Zurich, um, and when you release the scenery, you will need the license. Okay, so we will check all sceneries. We have access to all sceneries which are available in the market, and we will check if you own a license or not. So please purchase the license before. However, there's no technical difference. So you can during your development process, you can simply use the freeware one, and the configuration for everything is the same. You only need like a virtual license for it. Okay. Obviously, if you're a payware developer, we can give you excessive service. So you will get a direct contact to our developers who can help you. We can implement objects together, whatever. So we are here to help you with this because we think it's a great tool for it's made by developers. It's meant to be easy for developers. You don't have to be a coder. Um, as you've seen, it's pretty simple. However, if you have any ideas or find any bugs, please feel free to contact us, write them in the forum or wherever. We will try to fix them as soon as possible. And for sure, if there are new aircrafts, we will include them in the plugin or in the aircraft database of the plugin as soon as possible. You could do it on your own if you're an aircraft developer. I won't show it now. It's basically easy, but unnecessary now because we have currently all aircrafts implemented which are using jetways. Mm, because that's the only thing you need to do. You have to set up the door locations. Um, yeah, so if you're an aircraft developer, please feel free to contact us. We will include the configuration for you. You don't need to do anything. Yeah, great. As there are no questions, that's pretty good. So I wish you a lot of fun with it. Again, if you have questions, feel free to ask in the forum. And I hope to give you the plugin, as I said, within the next week. And I hope to see a lot of sceneries using it because it makes a lot of fun. Just finished the flight to Genoa, which will be the first scenery featuring the plugin, and it's a pretty good feeling when you arrive at the gate and the jetway is connecting automatically. So that's fine. Have a great weekend, and yeah, wish you a nice day. See you guys.